Hello again and welcome to the Sports Connection, the place where high school football fans in the state line go on the weekends. I'm Samantha Rivera.
And I'm Scott Lubber. We've got your Week 2 highlights coming up. We'll be joined by some coaches, plus we'll have our Week 1 MVP, our Play of the Week, and our Flashback segment.
We kick off this show with a football program that has played at an unbelievable level now for the past several seasons. That's the Byron Tigers. And Scott, the Tigers started off like gangbusters in their opener last week.
They blasted Winnebago 50-3 at Bago. That was the Tigers' 28th straight Big Northern Conference victory. So the question is, can any team in the conference stop or even slow down the Tigers? Well, the Stillman Valley Cardinals gave it a shot Friday night in our Game of the Week. The Cardinals were impressive winners in their opener against Dixon. Here comes Stillman, and you can tell by the looks on their eyes, the Cardinals meant all business in this one. Byron's fans pretty pumped up for their boys who always play great football, and this guy can certainly play some great football. Isaac Stickler getting outside, and with his speed, you will not catch him. 65 yards for a 7-0 Byron lead early. The Cardinals answered in the second quarter. Logan Jennings, number 32 there, powered over the left side for a 3-yard TD. It was 7-7 at halftime. Third quarter, Stillman junior quarterback Chad Gehrig, he's a player. Big run for him inside the 15-yard line. And then it's Omar Gallardo with a 36-yard field goal attempt. That is, boy, plenty of leg with that. The Cardinals led 10-7. The rowdy crowd, fired up. We go to the third quarter still, and it's Byron QB Ben Carlson showing some wheels. This is Stickler and Snodgrass aren't the only guys on this team who can run. Big gain for him, and that would set up this next play. It's Isaac Stickler again, and watch him just keep the legs moving. And he finally gets through there for the 8-yard touchdown. Byron had the lead back 14-10. Now with 4 minutes to go, it's Gehrig on the bootleg keeper getting outside with it. And he's 14 yards in for another score, and Stillman had the lead back 16-14. The Cardinals would go for two. Luke Frost has the two with a tough run, and that was huge. Stillman went up 18-14. Byron would try to answer again. Carlson dropping back to pass, lets it go, but Jacob Sigwards is there for the pick. But this game's not over. 40 seconds to go. Stillman now. It's Gehrig back to punt from his own end zone, but instead wisely takes an intentional safety here. So that made it 18-16. Always dangerous trying to punt in your own end zone, so would that be the right move? 10 seconds to go. Byron with one last chance. It's Carlson looking for some daylight, and he cannot get away, and that's it. Stillman wins it 18-16, snapping Byron's 28-game conference winning streak.
You can't even describe what happened right now. Just beating a team that obviously went to the state championship last year. They had a great team, great game. Got to thank all my linemen, everybody that blocked. Heck of a game, heck of a game.
Clutch touchdown there you scored at the end. I know you had help, but tell me about that winning touchdown.
Like I said, it's all about my linemen. They're the ones who executed everything. Coach called a great call, and you've got to execute when it comes down to game time.
You guys were really physical tonight. I was so impressed with that. Talk about the mindset of how physical you wanted to play in this game.
Oh, we knew that if we wanted to win, we had to play physical. Most physical game of the year. We know we're small. We've been working hard this offseason, and we just had to know that we were coming in 110%.
Obviously, the pick there toward the end was huge. Tell me about that play, huh?
I don't know. I just saw it coming, and once I saw it, I knew the game was over. But Byron played a good game. Credits to them.
You guys were dead even with them at halftime. Was that all it took to convince you guys that you could take this game?
That we knew we were close, but we knew we had to come out even harder. So we brought it to them and came out on top.
Well, joining us now in the Sports Connection Hotline is Stillman Valley head coach Mike Lawler. And Mike, you guys have blown your cover. The secret's out now. Stillman Valley is a pretty good football team.
Well, you know, we had a lot of things go right tonight against a great Byron team, and you know, we thought we had a chance to be a good solid club, but you don't really know until you get out there and got the heat of the fire and all that sort of thing. So, you know, the key now is can you maintain it, can you build on it, and so on. Tonight clearly was a real big win for us.
It's games like this and weeks like this that have to be what keeps you excited about coaching and keeps you coming back year after year.
You know, I'd be lying if I said it isn't. moments like tonight, you can't buy them. You can't, find your way into them out without a lot of work. And then along with that, just, having players that are really dedicated and great kids and support by the parents and stuff. And, that feeling those few minutes after the game there on the sideline is, it's really priceless for anybody that's been through something like that.
Well, not many teams can play with Byron for even a half. So to go into halftime tied 7-7, was that the confidence boost your guys needed to convince them that they could win the game? Or did you guys already believe that the moment they walked on the field they could win?
No, I think it was a confidence builder, and we made a stop or two in that second quarter, or it might have gotten a little out of hand, and then they can often really get things rolling there. And then our kicker nailed a long field goal to get us up 10-7, and I think that just gave another shot of adrenaline to us, and then we were able to finish things off in our real wild inning in that fourth quarter. But without a doubt, if you can hang with a team like Byron, even for a half, it gives you some hope that maybe they'll find a way to get the thing done.
Now, we were impressed by how physical your Cardinals played in this game. Did you know coming into the season that this group of guys had that characteristic that they would be a physical bunch?
I think, again, on paper, it looked like there was a chance, but, I've had physical players that didn't play physical in the big games. It takes kind of a special mindset that you're going to go toe-to-toe with, for example, the Ellsbury boy at that tackle, and it's not going to be good enough to do it for one play. You've got to do it play after play after play, and so it isn't just a physical thing, but I think it really becomes a mental thing. And at least in my opinion, you never really know until you get into a game like this. Can you stand up and will you stand in there for the whole game?
This was the first chance I've had to watch your junior quarterback Chad Gehrig play, and I was very impressed with how under control he was and his decision making. He was very composed. Did you see the same thing out of your young quarterback?
I did, and this is just his second start on the varsity, and you're going up against a team like that. And what I've been real impressed with is how well he's kept his composure. Even in the game, there was some plays here and there where they made plays on him, and he just kind of got up off the turf and went right back at it the next play. And in full credit, he called we had a bootleg that we scored the winning touchdown on, and he came over to the sideline and suggested it. He thought he saw something there, and that was all him, and it was a great call and got us into the end zone.
Well, I have to ask you about the intentional safety you guys took. I really like the call. There were 40 seconds to play. You were up by 4, and Chad Gehrig was back to punt in his own end zone, which is always dangerous, and he took the safety. Was that an easy call to make, or were you debating about that a little bit?
Well, again, in full disclosure, Grant McClendon, our free safety, ran over to a coach and thought about it. It crossed my mind just about the time they said it, and it really bailed us out, that you could run some time off and then be able to kick off, get a little more distance. The risk you're taking there, we made it into a field goal game. If they get down in there, that field goal beats us. But, you really cut down on the amount of plays. They were out of timeouts. But it was honestly Grant McClendon that was really the one that stirred the idea, and then it became kind of a no-brainer to do it.
Our thanks to Coach Lawler for joining us. What a game, Scott. They've got some smart kids on that team.
Yeah, you got a Hall of Fame head coach in Coach Lawler. He's had 5 state championship teams, and he's taking inputs there from some kids on the team for some of these plays. That's pretty special, and that game was really special. Hey, Byron, by the way, is the real deal, and now we know the Stillman Valley Cardinals are too. Well, we turn our focus to the Nick 10 next in a big game at Belvedere North Friday night. Right now, let's fire up our Sports Connection fan cam. It's the Stillman Valley student section, the Rowdy Crowdies, and they lived up to their nickname Friday night at Byron. They were rowdy indeed, and they did a great job of supporting their team. Just don't forget to do your homework this weekend, kids. That's our fan cam.